Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls, people of all ages, sexualities, and identities, and welcome back to another Doctor Who review. And today's Doctor Who review is none other than Ghost Light. We all have our fears in the universe, whether it's a real thing or something completely made up. For me, it's arachnids. For other people, it can be clowns. For some people, it's the fear of water itself. But Ace in this story has a very prominent fear that has to do with a house in Perivale, a house that was thought to be burned down. The Doctor asks Ace what she sensed in the house that made her feel so uneasy. Ace explains it had to do with politics, had to do with the person from the house, and most importantly it had to do with how they had brainwashed people over the years to be very racist in Perivale. She said the whole incident started when they firebombed her mate's house, and ever since then she went to this house and she destroyed it. Then she never wanted to see the house ever again, so the fact that the Doctor has brought her back before that made her very angry. The Doctor points out that it wasn't just some little spat. There was something deeper to this house, something alien that felt unreal, something that has been looming in the shadows ever since, and Ace could sense it. The Doctor takes her back in time and a very, very interesting dinner party begins. The Doctor takes on the pretense for this whole story that he is some form of professor. He is very good friends in this story with a Neanderthal. Now, a Neanderthal, for anyone who doesn't know, is a very early stage of human being that evolved with big heads. The Neanderthals were thought to essentially worship gods and tribes, and had this kind of ideal in their tribe that animals were very sacred, and especially saber-toothed tigers. So when the Seventh Doctor magically pulls out of his hand a saber tooth of a tiger, the Neanderthal becomes very, very interested in it. He then points out that there was a god of light, a god that, with its power, essentially could control and vindict and dictate to people. Now, one thing I should clarify is don't get this mistaken with the god of light from Lux. Lux's god of light could be very similar, but of course is more of a cartoon animation. In this story, the God of Light is a more figure that's kind of been waiting over the centuries. The God of Light explains in this story this idea that maybe it has been around since the dawn of time and that it has been cataloguing every single thing. The God of Light has been using an entity known as Control. And Control happens to be none other than one of the household that went missing. The Doctor argues with one of the professors before Light comes along and explains this idea that human evolution can be more than just apes. The professor absolutely denies this and attests that things are nothing more different than Darwin's theories of man's evolution from ape. However, the Doctor detests this theory, pointing out that there is a Neanderthal present, proving that his tribe has evolved from something so much more than just an ape. However, back to this idea of Light. This whole story consists of the fact that Light was imprisoned and Ace ends up going up and making a very big mistake. She goes upstairs out of a bit of a rebellious rage and accidentally unleashes Light upon the house. Light who can control, Light who can move, and Light who can break human beings and creatures of all shapes and sizes at the bend of their own wheel. The Doctor points out to Light that they have been away for a very long time, and that, in all those years, half of their catalogue is out of date. Light detests this and then does the calculation and realises it's very true. Light is angry at the fact of how human evolution has evolved since their time, and prospects the idea of turning people back in time to soup and then reborning them right from the age of early man. The Doctor detests Light on this and tells Light to let Control go. Control preens to the Doctor that she wants to be ladylike and no longer a abominable animal. The Doctor reassures her that that will be the case eventually. They manage to stop Light once and for all in this story, and the Doctor points out to Ace that the biggest problem wasn't Light at all. Instead, the biggest problem was the fact that aliens had come to Earth and had been interfering with Earth's history. They proposed to take the man away that used to be the Professor. He was corrupted along the way by Light and also by a lot of other things. The Doctor points out to Ace that in the future the house will be burned as she remembers, and everything will go back to the way it should be. No more Light, no more conspiracy. So, what did I think of Ghostlight? I really love the kind of gothic scenery of this. I was recently watching this on the kind of remastered edition, and I can see why they didn't really do much to it. It's a perfect story as it is and doesn't need much adjustment. I also really like this story because we get to go back in time and face something that Ace has been hiding away from for so many years. The idea of going into any companion's history is brilliant and beautiful throughout Doctor Who, and I feel like this is one of those shining moments, and for that reason I give Ghostlight a solid 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next Doctor Who review. Until then, stay beautiful, you beautiful people.